What up, what up? Welcome anybody coming through right off the rip. Thank you for the first like on the stream. Not sure who dropped it, but I appreciate you very much. Thank you, thank you. You are a kind lad. Hope everybody's had a great day. Sometimes we have a slow start to the week, you know, but it's a bit of a dread. Make it through that, we make it through. What's up, Sphinx? How you doing, my man? How are you doing? Make sure all my stuff is good. I think it is. Everything should be all good. Everything's all good. Cool. Alright. Good, bud. How you going? It's going alright. Going alright, man. Another day, you know? Just another day. Got some stuff done today, you know? Trying to prepare for Starfield and trying to get some stuff situated with my PC and just, you know, everything in general. And got some stuff done. I, you know, admittedly didn't get as much done as I wanted to or I had planned to, but I did get some done, and of course I still have tomorrow and I still have Thursday, so definitely will be all good, but yeah. Just another day, man, just another day. Where am I supposed to be going? Oh, there's this guy.
Initial readings indicate non-hostile. As a member of the Free States and protector of Harper's Ferry, I hereby conscript you into service. I have wounded to protect and reestablish.
You reckon you'll have the specs to play? We'll see, man. We'll see. In the bottom of the ninth, so to speak, with the graphics card situation. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe by some luck. We'll get something sorted and we'll be all good to go. But if not, then you know we have the Series S still, and if I have to set that up for Starfield to play on that instead for you know however long, then until like the PC stuff is all good and ready to go, then you know it is what it is. I'll you know I'll make it work, man. I'll make it work for sure, for sure. I will do what I gotta do. I'm sure even if I have to play on the S and it's like 30 FPS and you know not the more powerful of the two consoles and stuff, that it will still be like it'll still be a solid experience as long as the game's playable, you know, as long as the game is playable and like smooth and everything like that, then you know it should hopefully be okay. I'm not gonna you know get all down and you know frustrated, upset, whatever the case is, if the PC side of things doesn't work out immediately, you know, for the launch of it. Thank you for 2 likes, by the way, guys. Whoever dropped a second like, I appreciate you very much. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Kills. There's only 2 out here? I expected there'd be more than 2. Huh. Need to find a signal booster. Huh. I guess there can be one in both places? Or something? Okay. Well. Oh my. Alright, let's see what we got going here. See if we can pick some guys off. I didn't even think I was gonna hit that first shot. I thought he moved away. Hey, thank you for 3 likes on the stream, guys. What's up, ET? Assume that was you. Thank you, buddy. I still need to launch a nuke for the main story mission. I think I'm not gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna do that either tomorrow. I guess I have to do it tomorrow because Thursday night Starfield comes out. So I was gonna say I could do it Thursday, but no, I can't do it Thursday because Thursday night will be Starfield. So I guess I'll do it tomorrow because I'm not gonna do it tonight. But yeah, shit, I guess I'll be dropping the nuke tomorrow. And finish up the main story. I believe that's the end of the main story. I don't quite remember if there's anything that immediately follows. I want to say that's it. I'll suppose I'll have to check. ET, I don't know if you launched the nuke yet, and so if you know, like if it gave you another quest after that, if you even launched it. If not, then I will probably just look it up to see if there is another quest that comes after that. I'm sort of hoping that that's the end, to be honest. Just because it would be nice to have it done. It'd be, you know, kind of a nice note to end on. You know, finish up the main story. I wish I could have got to level 100 as well, you know, to be honest. No, I haven't played for a few days. Gotcha. Yeah, I kind of wish I could have got to level 100. We got close. If I had grinded more during double XP, or if I had played, like, offline, or I guess more. I mean, I played for, like, maybe a few hours tops offline, like, off-stream. Just to, like, do random stuff mainly, though, like, going to a bunch of vendors. Like, I did that last night. I went to a bunch of player vendors last night because I had like 10k caps that I had built up, and so I started jumping around vendors and looking for some good deals. Got a couple new weapons. I got a nice chunk of plans, and yeah, I think we're still sitting on like 6k caps right now. Yep, 6k. So we have 6k caps still. We got some new weapons. I have a 3-star handmade now, which I don't really know if the mods on it are what I'll keep on it. I just don't really have a bunch of mods unlocked for handmade yet. But we got plus 5% damage after each consecutive hit on the same target, up to 45%. I believe that's Furious. And then replenish 15 AP with each kill, and plus 15% reload speed. So not bad. You know, it's okay. It's definitely okay. I can't remember how much this was. It wasn't a lot, actually, surprisingly. The person was only selling it for like 1,000 something caps, I want to say. And then I also got the handmade plan from somebody for 700 caps, which is by far the best deal that I saw as well. And even that same person was selling another 1 or 2 handmade plans for like 1,000 plus. So I guess he just happened to have a couple of them, and he was just like, okay, you know, I'll sell them all, and whoever happens to, you know, need it and want to buy it for cheaper, you know, then, you know, it's basically first come, first serve, you know? But yeah, I saw one that was for 700 caps, which is much better than what the vendor would sell to me for, and also much better than any other vendor I've seen. I've seen a few other people selling the handmade plan, and it was always like 1 to 2,000. Well, not towards 2,000. I want to say more like 1,000 to like 1,500, because of course you can get it from the vendor for around that, I believe. But yeah. Definitely the best price I saw for it. So I got that. Oh, I got a fixer as well. Just a basic fixer. Any fixer that had like legendary effects on it, people were selling like mad expensive. Understandably so. So I did not pick up a fixer that had effects on it. I just picked up a base level 50 fixer so that I could have one and do whatever mods I want on it when I have them unlocked. And then also so I can roll some legendary perks on it by myself. But yeah, just to have one, you know. I got that as well. I think that was maybe like around 1,000 caps too. Which it was like whatever, you know. I just really wanted to have one, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get the plan for one. I only saw 2 people selling the Fixer plan, and both of them were selling it for, like, max caps, like 40k or whatever. So, I don't know if that is, like, true to what they normally go for, or if it was kind of just like, hey, you know, somebody who's really desperate that has a shit ton of caps, let's make them pay for it. Or if it was, like, some troll type shit. But, yeah, I was not gonna be buying a Fixer plan. I wouldn't have been able to, or not on this character anyway. Some news: might have some border issues on planets where you might have to go through load screens or move your spaceship somewhere else on the map to load to other areas. Best case scenario for Starfield. Yeah, I did see news about that. I saw that there was also Game Pass remove the $1 deal. Also saw that too. Yep. That was definitely intentional. The removing the deal thing. They know that there's going to be a bunch of people who were going to do the deal on like a new account or on their account that they didn't have Game Pass with, and that we're going to get Game Pass for $1, even just for a month, and then get the premium upgrade for Starfield, or just, you know, have the base game from it for a month and be able to play that and try it. Yeah, they know what they're doing with that. Let's be honest. They know exactly what they're fucking doing with that. I mean, I get it, you know. I can't really knock them for it from a business perspective, because it makes complete sense. But it does kind of suck. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully there was a lot of people that didn't wait, like my ass, and that actually got in on the deal earlier this month, because unfortunately that is something I did not do, and so I am going to have to pay whatever the full price is for Game Pass. Yeah. But, you know, I should have done it sooner, I guess. My thought process was this, though. My thought process was that, I was going to wait until, like, right until the day the game came out, like, right before, the day before, and then I was going to get the deal then, so that I would have as much time as possible before I actually had to buy the game, right, or until I had to renew. Basically, I wanted to make the most of the time that I had Game Pass for, because if I had gotten Game Pass, like, a week and a half ago, for instance, I wouldn't have been playing anything with Game Pass between now and then. Yeah, it just would have been sitting there active. And I would have just had days going by where I wasn't getting anything from being a subscriber to it, you know what I mean? So, I'm sure there's a lot of people that were in that same mindset as me. It is the logical mindset, in my opinion. So, a lot of people probably missed out for that reason, but there's also probably a lot of people that jumped in on the deal. So, you know, tip it to them. What's up, Boostio? Yeah, that's why they removed it just before. Yeah, 100%, 100%. As for the Starfield news about the borders, yeah, I saw that too. I saw there's a good amount of controversy about it. There's, I don't know, man. I considered making a video about it. I still might, just to have another video for Starfield posted between now and Thursday night when the game comes out. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. But I guess I can just give my thoughts, you know, out loud now, just for the few people here. So, I'd say first and foremost, there's a lot of weenies out there. Yeah, weenies. There's a lot of fucking weenies out there that are, like, making a goddamn mountain out of a molehill with this shit. You know? People that are acting like, you know, it's the end of the fucking world, and that, you know, this whole loading screen thing, or, you know, walking for 40 minutes and then hitting an invisible wall, and then a prompt comes up saying you have to move your spaceship or whatever in order to continue on. People acting like, you know, it's so immersion breaking, that it's so fucking negative, that it's like such a bad thing, and that it makes the game, you know, go down 2 points out of 10, you know, in its overall rating or some shit like that, or even worse. People, like I said, first thing I said, making a mountain out of a molehill, man. Like, the people doing that, I just don't get it. Why? It's, you know, people that are just probably haters of Bethesda, haters of Xbox, or just, you know, for some reason wanting to see Starfield fail. You know, people like that. A lot of them are probably those people, right? And I don't I don't have like a side in the whole console war nonsense. Never have. I love both Xbox and PlayStation. I have systems of both. I've played so many games on both. I have many memories across both. And I get exclusives on both. Yeah, I mean, they both systems have great things to offer, right? But, yeah, the people that are just making a mountain out of a molehill for the whole thing is just, is crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like, I don't know why. It's just wild to me. There are some people who are, like, you know, putting their opinion out there about the whole thing and providing some similar comments to what I just said, but in a less, you know, whiny way, I guess might be a good way to put it. And to those people, you know, you teach their own. You know, that you have an opinion, of course. Like anybody, you know, has a right to their own opinion, even if they're being a dickhead about it or whatever. But anybody who's, like, coming from a place of hate or something like that, you know, I don't fuck with that, right? And it's just silly. It's pointless. You think these 1,000 worlds we can explore in Starfield is a good thing? I think 3 very packed content planets would be safer. They said only like 10%, so like 100-ish of them are actually going to have like unique content to them, like, you know, settlements or NPCs or quests, stuff like that. So yes, there is 1,000+ planets, but only around 100 are those that are actually like unique or filled with more than your basic random generated simplistic type things, you know, like some resources, some basic enemies, maybe stuff like that, you know. Only around 100-ish of them are going to be, you know, larger or more unique or whatever the case may be. That kind of stuff. More memorable. Have more to them, you know. Ones that you're going to want to make sure you go to. Shit like that. The rest of them are mainly just going to be, like, a lot of them are going to be barren, and they're just going to be there for, like, resources, or they're going to have bare minimum in terms of, like, enemies or what is on them or how they look, stuff like that. Right? Let me see where I need to go for this. Over here. Let's see. Yeah, but it's failed promises. The bloke in Bethesda literally said walk on when asked about it. Yes, and I did see that comment too. Thank you guys for 4 likes on the stream, by the way. I appreciate it. I did see the comment of, what was it, Pete Hines, or was it somebody from Bethesda specifically, from the team, I forget, that said, you know, yes, you know, you can explore the whole planet, walk on, right? And I definitely get people taking that the way that they did. Some people taking it as, you know, walk on, just basically, you know, reaffirming what he just said, that yes, you can explore the whole planet. And then I also get the lot of people who are taking it as he literally meant you can walk on across the whole planet. And technically you can, it just requires, you know, moving your ship or whatever loading screen in between. So I think that people are reading into it too much, honestly. I think that, one, it's an unfortunate and maybe bad choice of words on that person's part. I forget who it is off the top of my head, so I do apologize. It's an unfortunate choice of words, obviously, and in hindsight, I'm sure. If it was intentional, which I can't imagine it was, because no positive comes out of them, you know, trying to act like you can seamlessly and without any loading screens or anything go from point A to point B across the whole planet. They get nothing positive out of lying. They get nothing positive out of misleading. Literally nothing. Nothing good comes from it, right? And the other thing is, they're not using it as a selling point. One of their big advertising or selling points for the game is not telling everybody, you know, big and bold, that hey, you can go from one side of the planet to the other. That's not a selling point. That hasn't been a huge selling point for them or anything. This, you know, it's why it came up in such a small context on a tweet or something for people to figure out, you know, just what was possible. If it was some big bold selling point that they were backing, you know, that they were backing the horse of to the highest degree, there wouldn't be people initially so confused about it and wondering exactly how it worked, right? People would just be under the impression that, hey, they said this is exactly how it works, and this is what we're going to be getting from the game, you know? And then that's it. The game comes out, it's not like that, you know, and people are upset, naturally. But I think the fact that people were asking in the first place as much as they were kind of speaks for itself, first and foremost. And then, yeah, I just think that it's an unfortunate choice of words. And I do understand how people are getting from point A to point B with thinking that they literally meant walk on, as in, again, you can walk from one end of the planet to the other, and maybe they did mean it that way. And in between, you do have a loading screen or something, and they didn't really think of that as being an issue because that's the way they developed the game. It's one of those situations that either is, one, an unfortunate choice of words, or it is an unfortunate lack of context. I don't think there was anything malicious there. I don't think they're blatantly trying to mislead people or lie. Again, I just don't see why they would do that. And in the bottom of the ninth, so to speak, for this game releasing, because it doesn't do them any good. It does them nothing positive whatsoever. The game's already going to sell like fucking hotcakes. It's already selling like fucking hotcakes. It's #1 on Steam for, you know, purchase, pre-ordered, wishlisted, whatever. Above Baldur's Gate now as well. So it's not like the game wasn't going to sell like fucking hotcakes regardless. That was going to happen. Them coming out on Twitter and replying to some random person saying, you know, yes, you can explore the whole planet, walk on, is not, it's not anything. It's literally not anything. It's not going to sway anything or anybody, I feel like. And if it is, it's the 0.001%. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sorry for the whole tangent, but I just feel like it's, I don't know. The people who think that they're, like, purposely trying to mislead people or something along those lines, I just don't really see why that would be the case. I just don't see a world where they would literally, like, think to themselves intentionally and be like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna do a play on words here, we're gonna beat around the bush, or we're gonna just straight bullshit people. Because nothing positive comes from that. That doesn't accomplish anything for them. You know, that doesn't do anything good for them whatsoever. But let me catch up with comments. I'm calling it now. There's going to be a monthly pass for the game for Better Planets or something rather. Almost every game on the last few years has been failed promises and misinterpretations. These tactics they use are the same as scammers, such as not giving clear information and small comments, leaving the game content to the imagination. You think this hate is towards Bethesda for not being on PS or Microsoft? I don't know. Some of it definitely is. Some of it is towards Xbox, just because there's people who hate Xbox. There's a lot of people that are just diehard PlayStation fans, diehard Sony fans, because that's their main system. That's what they prefer. And then there's also people who just hate Bethesda. And then there's also people who are simply pissed that the game is not on PlayStation. And whether they want to admit it or not, that's where they're coming from. Is being mad that the game's not on PlayStation and that it is on Xbox, and so they have to cope with that by, you know, by coming at Bethesda or coming at Xbox or coming at whoever is publicly talking about the game in any sort of a positive manner, right? And again, everybody has the right to their own opinion, but I just don't see what the point is. I just don't really know what that's accomplishing. Like, if you're mad, you know, tough. I don't really know, like, what else to say past that. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, it does suck, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're someone who's mad that the game's not on PlayStation, I feel it. It sucks. I wish the game was on PlayStation too. The more people that could play the game, you know, especially if it turns out to be really great, the better. So it is unfortunate. But, you know, what changes in that whole situation by being a dickhead to people online, especially that are just, you know, hyped and you know, happy about a video game. I don't know. It's a bit strange to me. Thank you for 5 likes on the stream, guys. Also, think Elder Scrolls and/or Fallout fanboys are mad they got away even more. Think the Elder Scrolls and/or Fallout fanboys are mad that they got away even more. I don't know about that one. I don't think so. I think anyone who's excited about the next Elder Scrolls game or the next Fallout game is somebody who would be at least neutral towards Starfield, because it's Bethesda still. And if they're excited for the next Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, I'm assuming they're either a PC player or a Xbox player, because those games are probably going to be exclusive to those systems and not be on PlayStation. So, yeah, I would assume that If you're somebody who is looking forward to the next Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, then you're either seeing Starfield in a positive light, hoping for the best, or you're neutral at the very least. I don't really know if there's realistically people out there. I mean, I guess probably. But I just don't see it likely that there's a lot of people out there who are like super hyped for the next Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, and they're pissed about Starfield being a thing. Like, oh, Starfield, if this game wasn't getting developed, you know, we would have a new Elder Scrolls by now. Anybody who's in that mindset, bro, is like max weird. Like, even more so than the people I was already talking about that are just being hateful online in the first place. Like, yeah, that's a mega weird, bro. I didn't even know it's on a PlayStation. That's actually crazy. It might not be the end of the world, but not only is Bethesda games not prioritized consoles, as well as the fact that not all people can't afford other consoles. Yeah, well, Bethesda is under Microsoft. So after Bethesda became a part of Microsoft, aka under Xbox, they made Bethesda's like upcoming games exclusive, you know. I do imagine that had that not happened, Starfield would have been on PlayStation as well. I think there was even a chance initially that Starfield may have ended up being a PlayStation exclusive. Don't quote me on that. I feel like I heard something about that like way back in the past. But yeah, Microsoft bought Bethesda, and so in turn they are making Bethesda's games their mainstream games, you know. Starfield, the next Elder Scrolls, probably the next Fallout, they're making those exclusive to Microsoft. They're making it so it's only on Xbox, and then it's only on PC. Yeah. So it's not a Bethesda thing. It's not Bethesda not prioritizing the consoles. It's not Bethesda saying, hey, fuck PlayStation. It's not like that at all. It's, you know, they got bought by Microsoft. Of course, they chose to do that, or whoever is the higher ups that, you know, are making those decisions. They chose to do that, and in turn, naturally, Microsoft wants to make some of these huge AAA titles that everybody, you know, not everybody, but a ton of people naturally look forward to, and that Bethesda's, you know, renowned for. They want to make those exclusive because obviously it's a big thing. They're huge game releases, so that's a Microsoft thing. That's a Microsoft / Xbox thing. Xbox things, not so much a Bethesda thing. Because obviously, once Bethesda's under Xbox, Bethesda can't be like, hey, we only want the game on Xbox and PC, or they can't come in and be like, you know, hey, we want the game on PlayStation. The game has to be on PlayStation. I don't think they have that say. I mean, they're under Microsoft / Xbox now. You know, they have a parent, they have a new parent company, so they're not. I can't imagine they're able to just be like, yeah, this game is coming out on PlayStation, or we're halting progress, you know, or whatever the case is. And going into that deal with Microsoft, though, I'll say on the other hand, devil's advocate to that, going into the deal with Microsoft, they surely knew that it was going to mean Starfield and the future games, such as the next Elder Scrolls and such, will be exclusive to Xbox / PC. So, obviously, again, whoever the higher-ups and stuff are for Bethesda making those decisions, they clearly were okay with the idea of them being exclusive. Who those people are, how many of them it is, I don't know. That's fucking bureaucratic, you know, way above my fucking knowledge and anybody's, you know, public knowledge probably, but yeah. I game on PS and PC, and I hope all games work out. Yeah, sucks no Starfield for PS, but who knows, one day things always change. Yeah, absolutely, exactly, man. That's, you know, that's the way that I look at it too, and I don't really know why people would look at it any differently. It's one thing if they have personal feelings towards the developer, or if they do genuinely think, for some, you know, in logical reasoning or whatever, that they think the game's not going to be good. They want to publicly put those opinions out there in a mature, respectful manner. You know, that's fine. You know, it's I think it's totally understandable. But yeah, the people who are just like blindly fucking filled with rage and hating and shit like that, while having it accomplish nothing, and just because there's people who are on the other side of the coin getting excited and stuff about Starfield, that's what I don't get, man. That's what's weird to me. I just don't really see the point. Track the distress beacon to its source. I'm close, but no cigar. Yeah, because I mean, there is people out there who have just seen Starfield for what it is so far as the info we've gotten and everything. And there are no doubt people out there who just, you know, based on the information they've gotten about the game so far and what they've seen, the little they've seen, mind you, they just don't think the game's going to be that good. They think that it's not going to be worth it or whatever the case is. And they have every right in the world to, you know, put that opinion across online and express it how they will. Am I close? Trying to listen for it. $92. Oh, it's at the bus, I think, maybe. Yep, there we go. Right? Hell yeah. Let's see. The anger is from a perspective of people strung after so many years of reasonable disappointment in the gaming community. It's for some. It's definitely not all. Like, the people who are frustrated and stuff like that, the people who are getting mad or whatever, like, there's no one single group that everybody falls into the category of. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people who are genuinely upset and for, like, or I should say they're upset for, you know, some sort of, like, genuine reasons or more understandable or more logical reasons. You know, feeling as though they have been time and time again let down by Bethesda and feeling for whatever reason that this is going to be another letdown or disappointment. And that's fine. Like, if that is how you feel, then that's totally understandable. You have the right to feel that way. You may even have good reason to feel that way. But the game's not out yet, for one. Right? So first and foremost, let's see how the game releases. And two, that group of people are not those, or at least I would hope not, they're not those that are online just like flaming constantly and just being absolute assholes online, posting nothing but constant negativity and going at people's necks and insulting other people who are posting anything positive about Starfield or their excitement for it or anything remotely close to any of that stuff. Because there's no excuse for that, right? I hope that we can all agree at the very least that there's really no good reason for people to be acting like that. There's no good excuse for it. I don't care if a company blundered fucking 5 games in a row and, you know, quote-unquote screwed people over, etc., etc., etc. If after all of that, I mean, I would care if a company did that, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, even if after all of that, there was people who wanted to still have faith or thought that this was going to be the turnaround, that this was going to be the turning point, and that they expressed positivity and excitement about it online, and there was anybody who came at their throat about it and insulted them and, you know, XYZ, all this kind of stuff, even in that scenario, it would not be okay. There is no scenario where the way a ton of these people are acting is acceptable. It's just plain and simple. And again, I hope that everybody can agree with that. Because it's just like, it doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't, it's, I don't know. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look for anybody. But yes, I do understand that there are people out there who have what they feel is good reasoning for thinking that Starfield is going to be a disappointment or being frustrated with Bethesda up to this point, you know, not expecting a whole lot, etc., etc. And I get that 100%, and those people have all the right in the world to express those opinions online. My main thing is that while you go right ahead and express those opinions, you know, just try not to be an asshole about it, right? And even if you are kind of an asshole about it, like expressing your opinions, if somebody provides a counter opinion about how they disagree with you or about how they're simply excited for the game or whatever the case is, don't be an asshole to those people, you know, don't insult them, don't comment their necks, you know, all that kind of stuff. at the very least, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Christ almighty, they were talking and hollering.
What's up, Sentinel?
I mean,
let me catch up. I'll look into it, but there's no way they sold themselves to Microsoft when they're so huge themselves. Oh, yeah, this was a massive thing, bro. Like, Microsoft bought them. There's nothing to look into. This happened a while back. Like, Microsoft owns them. They bought Bethesda. Like, this was a huge thing. This was a massive thing that was like in like the gaming news, the gaming atmosphere for a good while. It was like one of the biggest pieces of gaming news for a pretty long time. Like, because Microsoft being Microsoft and Bethesda being Bethesda, you know, those companies, the size of them, what they provide to the gaming industry, it was huge. And not only that, but there was a lot of people who were trying to make it not happen, you know? So yeah, this was a huge thing. I'm actually surprised that you aren't aware of it. I guess there's obviously people... What's up, Cody? Appreciate you stopping by, man. Hope you're doing well. There's obviously people who, you know, maybe don't stay as in the circle of gaming news and stuff as others. That's totally fair. But yeah, this was a pretty big piece of news for a good while. Like, all the gaming sites were reporting on it. It was a big thing on Twitter and any other social media. A bunch of people made videos about it naturally. So yeah, I mean, this was a pretty big thing. Yeah, but Microsoft bought Bethesda. Yeah, it's been that way for a while. The anger is from a perspective of people struggling after so many years of, I think I might have read that, reasonable disappointment in the gaming community. Starfield Space Combat looks similar to Star Conflict, which is a pretty decent game. Yeah, I personally have never played that. I'm not familiar with that game at all either. I have seen some people say that, yes, there is similarities to it. I've seen people say that there's, like, Starfield is like a mix of a whole lot of different games, like Star Conflict, Mass Effect, you know, just a whole bunch of different stuff like that. Destiny, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But that it's its own thing. Like, yes, there is aspects of it or similarities to all of those games, but at the end of the day, it is its own game, and it is like a Bethesda game at heart. For, you know, a lot of the stuff you'd expect to get or see from a Bethesda game. True, and Redfall probably not helping Starfield's images. Oh, Redfall was a mess, brother. Holy shit, don't get me started. Sentinel, I think I said what's up to you, man, but I hope you've had a great day, and if I didn't say hi to you, hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by. ESO release, Fallout 76 release, Redfall, all the other small money grabs and other games of theirs, people who are a part of the gaming community are allowed to be assholes. I mean, yeah, everybody has the right to their own opinion. Everybody, like, has the right, if they want to be an asshole online, then obviously, you know, freedom of speech and everything by all means. But, I mean, it just doesn't accomplish anything, right? And my main thing, bottom line, is people who are being like assholes to other people. If somebody wants to go online, they want to make a video, they want to make a tweet, or something like that about the company, or about an upcoming game from the company, or about their frustrations about something to do with the game or the company, that's fine. And if in that process they want to be aggressive, or they want to be negative, or they want to, you know, cuss a little bit, again, freedom of speech, they have all the right in the world to do that. Maybe they're passionate about how they feel and stuff, that's totally understandable, that's totally fine. My main thing that it comes down to is the people that are just blindly coming at other people online who are simply excited about Starfield. You know, somebody who goes out of their way to, you know, whenever they see somebody saying something positive about the game or something positive about Bethesda, that they reply to it, they reply to the person, and, you know, they insult them, and they're just, you know, they're directly to that person. They are just toxic as fuck. That is the main thing that I'm talking about, and that I don't agree with, and that I don't think is okay. I'm not saying that people can't have a negative or quote-unquote asshole opinion about a game or about a company. They obviously 1000% can, right? And there is understandable reason, logical reason for some people to feel that way about Bethesda and in turn Starfield. 1000%. I'm not taking that away from anybody or the situation. I'm talking, again, specifically about the people who are just online going out of their way to be just straight dickheads to other people that are just simply excited about the game. They're just expressing their excitement for the game, and they go out of their way to respond to people and just be dickheads to them, you know, and throw insults their way, or just try to, you know, go out of their way to like shut the person down and to just like try to turn them the other way or whatever the case is. Like, there's just no reason for it. And nothing positive comes out of it. Obviously, you're coming from a place of hate and negativity, so nothing gets accomplished from it, nothing good comes from it. That is what I'm specifically talking about, and that I, you know, bottom line, don't agree with and don't think is necessary. Haven't played Fallout 76 since all the power armor pieces were removed from all the frames in my storage. Does that still happen? I have only used power armor so much, but I haven't had that happen, and I would assume something like that they would have fixed. So I can't speak to it 100%, but I would assume so. And yeah, I haven't personally had it happen at all. But again, I'm not a constant power armor user either, so I don't have a bajillion you know, potential experiences where it could have happened that it didn't.
You heard that right. Sewers.
But I would like to hope it's fixed.
From just plain old swamp. But at this point, if it keeps Sarah safe, how bad can it be?
It isn't just an opinion at this point. Nowhere in game history has there been massive cash grabs. Nowhere in game history has there been massive cash grabs. But that's the start of the Destiny 2 got hold of it. The only game that should require cash grabs are free. I mean, that right there is an opinion. Like, there's people who would disagree with that. There's people that would disagree with multiple things within that. There's always going to be people who have, you know, varying opinions. That's what they are. They're opinions. You know, there may be facts behind certain opinions that people say, but there's always going to be a counter to that from somebody. You know, there's never going to be everybody all on the same page of something. No matter what one person says, there's always going to be somebody on the other end of it countering it or thinking otherwise. Hence, you know, it's an opinion. And especially when it comes to something like, you know, what games are cash grabs, or what companies are manipulative, or, you know, they try to do cash grab games. Like, something that's like so up in the air like that and so up for interpretation, that kind of stuff especially is also always going to have, you know, multiple different varying opinions about it, because it's just such a general, wide scope topic. And with so many possibilities, right? There's so many games out there. There's so many companies out there, developers, publishers, parent companies. There's just so much to take into consideration, so many variables and so many things that are above, like, you know, anyone's public knowledge as well. What do I get in here? To the sewer. Oh, here we go. Ones like Fortnite, let people enjoy things. It's okay to like poor, bad content too. I mean, if people like what they want to like, you know. Let people argue things from reasonable points instead of giving shallow opinions of how we should enjoy the game instead of being critical about a game. Yeah, people can argue whatever they want, man. People can have whatever, you know, perspective they want about something, or people can argue whatever they want to. Like, again, everybody has a right to their own opinion, you know? What's up, Silver? Demon, I missed the Fallout glitches. Yeah. You and many others, I'm sure, man. You and many others. I appreciate you stopping by, buddy. I hope that you got enjoyment, use, or anything like that from them back in the day. This was a while back and I didn't use it a lot, but that made me uninstall, re-downloading it now. Oh yeah, the power armor thing. Yeah, there were some pretty annoying bugs back in the day, man. No doubt. No doubt, no doubt. What the fuck, Demon? Those are truths, lad. That's exactly what happened. What you're saying about the games with what the game history thing? Where you said nowhere in game history has there been massive cash grabs, that Bethesda started it, Destiny 2 got hold of it, and that the only game that should require cash grabs are free. I mean, I look at that, man, and that, I mean, I can't I can't sit here and say that that's like fully factual. Like, you see, you're telling me that everybody got around, like, and sat down together and they said, hey, we're gonna make this game, and all we care about is, you know, all we care about is one thing and one thing only, and that's, you know, the money aspect of it. We don't give a shit about, you know, anything else. Because that's the thing, right? You say that, and I can take what you said right there, I can interpret it 6 ways from Sunday in regards to what you mean and what you said means. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but I don't know this. I don't know everything for facts, man. Like, we can sit here and we can speculate and elaborate all day long, but at the end of the day, I only know so much, you know? I didn't work at these companies. I'm not on the inside for these things. All I have is, you know, whatever public information or perspective I have about these games to go off of. That's all I have, you know? So, I don't know. Criticism is okay, but trying to dissuade someone from liking something isn't criticism. It's even if somebody, it's like, even if somebody wants to do that, even if somebody wants to, like, even if somebody wants to, you know, essentially be talking to a brick wall, right? In their eyes, probably, who feels differently. Even if they want to sit there and go out of their way to try and change the other person's mind, even that's, like, whatever, right? If you want to go out of your way to try and change somebody's mind, then, you know, all the power to you, right? If that's how you want to spend your time, I say, again, this is the main thing it comes back to for me. As long as you're being respectful about it, as long as you're being, you know, mature about it or whatever, then do your thing. The main thing I don't like is the people who are being toxic about it. The people who are being disrespectful towards others simply because they're excited about a game. Somebody who is, you know, it turns from one person saying, you know, something positive about the game and how they're excited. Somebody responds. Somebody says, oh, the game's going to be a flop. There's no reason to be excited about it. It's going to be another Bethesda L. You know, somebody saying something like that. The other person responds. They say something, you know, neutral, or they say that they disagree, whatever the case is. And then the person who thinks it's going to be an L release, they respond and they hit the other person with, like, insults or something. They say, oh, you're so fucking stupid, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, you're such an idiot for thinking that this is going to be a good game, it's going to be a piece of shit. People that do that, that's what I'm talking about specifically. That is what I'm talking about. And I don't think I can make it any more clear that that is specifically the kind of people that I'm talking about. If somebody wants to be against the game, be against the company, spread their negative opinion about it, thinking that the company's bad, that the game's going to be bad, if they want to spend their time trying to dissuade people or, you know, essentially argue with people online about it, that is their own time, that is their own, you know, power, that is their own right, etc., etc. But, like, there's no reason to be toxic about it, right? There's no reason to insult other people about it. That is what I don't like, and that's what I don't agree with. That's where the lawn is, that's where the line is drawn for me, right? So yeah, I hope that it is clear that that is solely and specifically what I am referring to. That's it.
Even though she's better than you. But she does not like it when you snort.
Lucas Alexander, I said no such thing. Duncan, I said no such thing.
But you do, Mommy. You tell me each every morning.
Okay,
What's up, Robby? How you doing, brother? Thank you for 7 likes on the stream, guys. I don't know if I read this damn demon. You almost make me want to give this game another try. I mean, do you, man? do your thing. I'm just happy that I've enjoyed my time on this game for the past few weeks that I've been back on it. What's up, Brando? Hey, thank you for 8 likes on the stream, guys. In the end, you've got people that care for history and others that don't hold it too highly. Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. And I mean, there's weight to history, you know, 100% as well. There is weight to history, and I think that there is a basis to be made off of history. That's why there's some of the arguments and some of the things that people are saying about Bethesda and about this next release, like, there is logic to it. There is, like, pattern to it. There is common sense to it, all that kind of stuff. And that's why there is some of these things that people are saying that it's like it's hard to argue with some of the things because, you know, while it may seem negative and while they may even be coming from a place of negativity, it is based on history. It is based on like a pattern of these not good things that you know, a company has done or the games from a company has done, right? So yeah, absolutely, you know, there's definitely weight to history, and there's a lot of people who care about that history, as they should. As they should, you know, like, if a company blunders 3 big games in a row, or 3 games in a row, they're doing, like you said, quote-unquote cash grabs as the public sees it, and obviously, you know, there is definitely things with, like, certain microtransactions or whatever that are very clearly, you know, hey, this company is trying to fucking reel the cash in, you know, 100%. People see that, right? And it is a thing in certain instances. So if there's a company who people see do that kind of stuff multiple times in a row, or they blunder 3 big releases in a row, or they're not listening to the community, you know, whatever the case may be. That kind of stuff matters, for sure. The history of that stuff matters, and people should care about it. People should take it into consideration. And if you're somebody who just wants to believe that it never happened, it's naive, I think. It's definitely naive. If you're somebody who just wants to pretend it never happened, or you want to think that, you know, there's no weight to it, then, you know, that's your right. That is your opinion. Just, you know, same as the other side of the argument. And I guess you'll just have to be somebody who says, you know, hey, you know, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's going to come into play this time. I don't think that matters for this next game's release. And I guess we'll just see when it releases how it goes. But I definitely agree that if the point you're saying is that, you know, that history you're pointing out that some people care about is of some importance and has weight to it, then I agree. It definitely does. What's up, Armando? Kind of like people who are quick to point out problems and offer nothing to improve the situation. Well, it's, you know, it's I mean, you don't need to offer up a solution simply because you have a negative opinion. You know, would it be nice if you could provide a quote-unquote solution or something along those lines after pointing something out that you don't like about a game, for instance, or a company, for instance? Like, you know, you say a negative thing, you follow it up with like a constructive or, you know, positive or a solution or something like that. Would it be nice? Sure. Right? But I don't think it's necessary. Somebody has the right to just straight up say that, hey, you know, this game being this way is stupid. It's bad, you know, or whatever along those lines. I think that you can have that opinion, you cannot offer up a solution to it or an alternative, and that is what it is. I do think most people in those situations, though, they do offer up an alternative or a solution. But ultimately, like, it only matters so much, right? Because they're not the ones that are actually, like, developing the game or whatever. And that's not to say that their opinions don't matter, because, of course, you know, as a whole community for these games, the voices, the people buying the games, the players, they do matter. But I'm talking more so in just, like, a one-off conversation with somebody, right? Let's see. Put these nukas away. What else can we put away? Hazmat suits.
everything
All these
to
meds.
hell while I was asleep.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to put the disease cure away. Alright. Oh yeah, my junk. Scrap. Ammo. The fuck? Do I have a flamer on me? Oh, I do. Oh, it's a legendary, that's why. Okay. Put two plasmas away. And let me go script this flamer and sell the other random shit that I have. What's up, Robert? How you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping by. You don't have a say in the game's creation. The only say in games we have is when the fans pull back and say fix the issues or you won't earn the money you incessantly need. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, when it comes to the game's development, yeah, like, we as the public, we have no say. We're not the ones developing the game. All we can do is once the game is out, all we can do is our best to voice our opinion about the game, and ideally in a respectful manner, right? Now, not everybody does it in that manner, and you don't have to do it in that manner, but if you want, you know, I would assume if you want the devs to care as much as possible and consider as much as possible, then, you know, the opinions would be put across in a respectful manner. Now, if they do something incredibly fucked up, horrible, you know, clear as day wrong, and there's just this crazy backlash from people about it, much of which is negative, then they'll get the picture that way too, you know, inevitably. But just from me personally, this is just me personally, I would say from a respectful manner, you know, from a respectful stance. That doesn't mean you can't be passionate. That doesn't mean you can't still be aggressive, you know. I'm just more so saying, like, you know, fuck this, fuck that, you know. In exchange for pillage. A whole bunch of cuss words and stuff like that, you know. Just throwing insults at the developers, you know, dropping cuss words and everything like that. Like, that's not constructive, man. You know, like, that's not, you know. That's just me, though. That's just me, though. Obviously, people have the right to be that way if they want to be that way.
Get
but
your rating supply.
That's just me, man. Yeah.
I don't care.
I get people being passionate. I get people being frustrated. They have every right in the world to be in these situations. And to each their own, you know. We'll put one of those away. I don't think we're gonna be able to do Mare for a day still. Order the tadpole. No. No. I had another side quest earlier when I was on for going to, I forget what it's called. It's like where the robots were coming after me and they had like a warrant for my arrest or whatever. But I must have lost the side quest because I got off the game. Because I don't see it here anymore, which kind of sucks. If I had known that it was going to go away, then I would have started it. So unfortunately, I don't have that anymore. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Oh, let me see what I gotta catch up on. People still pay though. Whales are what corporate gaming lives on nowadays. Destiny 2 and other games literally hire psychologists to formulate FOMO and game store strategies to manipulate people. That's why they keep releasing games unfinished or broken, because they can just make the money back and keep making promises all along the way, but still never deliver. The Atom Shop worked just fine when this game launched. That's all that mattered to ZeniMax. This is what happens when marketing people rise up. The game studio ladder and push out actual developers from the management. And then let me see what else. Pre-ordering is just giving the publisher no reason to deliver on the product they promise. Yeah. Hence why so many times in the past we've seen so many people say, like, not to pre-order games, not to jump the gun on games, you know, stuff like that. And saying, you know, having the stance and the arguments of, hey, if you guys keep buying these games immediately that release half-baked, well, guess what? There's a good chance that they're gonna do it again, right? And I get that. I 100% get that. I think that's a completely fair and logical, and like Sphinx pointed out, like the historical stance, right? It's all those things, right? It's logical, it's historical, it's based on history of them having done it before, and, you know, if it happens once, there's, you know, reason to believe it'll happen again. I think it's a completely fair take, and there's no doubt been instances of it. I don't buy day one release games anymore, as you should. I wait at least 2 weeks before I decide to buy a new release game. Right. Yeah. It's tough, right? Because there's probably so many people that would love to do that. There's so many people that would love to, like, give a game 2 weeks and see a whole bunch of shit for it and see exactly, you know, what it has to offer and all this kind of stuff. But then at the same time, you know, there's all this there's all this hype and all this psychological shit, kind of like ET was pointing out. Some of this shit really happens, bro. Like, you know, there's the FOMO, you know, the fear of missing out. There's people who want to be playing the game day one. It's like, you know, they don't want to buy the game and have it be a big disappointment and in turn to feel like they wasted the money on it. But then they also don't want to be sitting on the sidelines not playing the game for 2 weeks while they see if it's actually going to be a game that they that they're 1000%, or as far as they can tell, going to like. So yeah, it would be ideal if people could find that information out for sure before a game releases. But yeah, there really is all that psychological shit that comes into play, and the FOMO and everything, like, and all the hype and everything. It really does play a factor for so many people, bro. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times, like, I've had friends say they're not going to buy, like, an upcoming new game, or they're not going to buy the next Call of Duty or whatever, that they're done with it, you know, and they don't care. And then sure enough, they buy the new Call of Duty day one. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how big of a thing that is. It really is. It's insane. I've probably done it myself too. I've probably done the same thing, where I said that I was not going to get a game, you know, right away, that I was going to wait and see, you know, how it looked and what people said about it first, and then I just ended up saying, fuck it, I'm going to get the game day one. I personally think it's going to be great, and, you know, if it's not, well, fuck me. You know, I guess I played myself. You know, so many of us have done it, man. So many of us have done it. We don't want to do that. We want to... Sure, we can go here. Pre-ordering. Yeah, we already went over that. Yeah. Especially now with games being 70, 80, thanks, that's a lot of groceries you could buy instead. Yeah. Yeah. Man, games fucking... Shit is just getting more and more expensive. That's like the economy in general right now, man. The fucking economy as a whole, bro. Inflation and shit. Holy fuck, dude. It's wild. It is wild, man. Me and Madden gets me every year. Yeah, bro, I'm sure. Yeah, honestly, bro, sports games might be one of the biggest fucking examples of this, and one of the biggest fucking perpetrators or whatever of this kind of shit. Like, so many people, when it comes to like the next sports game in the series, you know, the next Madden game, the next MLB game, you know, because inevitably there's going to be a lot of similarity there, and there's a lot of people who are just not happy with how the previous game was, and so they're like, I'm done. I'm taking a year off. I am not getting the next game, or I'm not getting it right away. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna make sure that it actually looks good and that I actually want to get it. And then, you know, the following game comes around, and even if it's got like an early access option, and sure enough, bro, there's a bunch of those people who are fucking pre-ordering the game, getting early access even, and they're playing that bitch day one. Yep. I guarantee that Call of Duty is one of the biggest examples of that. I think sports games are another huge example. It's obviously going to happen more so with games that come out every year. Again, like Call of Duty, like the sports games. You know, there's a new Madden every year. There's a new Call of Duty every year. Stuff that releases every single year and inevitably has a lot of similarities. It's going to happen more frequently with those games just because of the frequency of releases for the franchises. But there's other examples. There's other examples. You know, like Destiny 1 to 2, for instance, that could be an example. The Division 1 to 2, you know, Halo, Gears, stuff like that isn't an every year release. But you know, maybe there was people who were really unhappy with how the previous Gears game was, and so, you know, or the previous Halo game was, or whatever the case is. And they said that they were gonna wait to find out if they really wanted to pick it up and actually spend their money on it, if it was going to be worth their money. But then, you know, they're buying it day one. They're pre-ordering it, or whatever the case is. It used to be progression systems were in the game for you to have something to work towards. Now they've monetized progression systems. There's just less to do in games nowadays. It's weird how that's happened, right? Like, on paper, it seems like they've added things, but then, like, in reality, like, a lot of the time, there's actually less there. Like, it's crazy, right? The worst, you know, I've always been a football guy. Yep, 100%. Buys the deluxe version to get it early. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Even if you play for a battle pass or shop item, it's not as engaging as older games because you just put in hours played to have the item appear in your inventory with no nuance to it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like obviously when it comes to like season passes and battle passes and stuff, like on the surface it seems like, you know, oh, we're getting a whole bunch of extra content and extra, like, you know, skins and this and that, you know, from the battle pass to the season pass, and on the surface it seems like, you know, it's so much extra content and that it's a positive thing. But then, like, you really think about it and it's like, damn, like, you know, comparing this to like old days, like, even including the battle pass content or season pass content or whatever the case is with that kind of stuff, where it's, you know, the progression as you play and, you know, you have the paid option for the passes and stuff, it's like you really think about it and you really look at it and you're like, damn, like it's just on the surface making it seem like it's all this extra stuff, and that back in the day would have just been part of the game. But that comes back to the psychological shit that you mentioned, bro. It really does. It comes back to that psychological shit you mentioned, making people feel like, you know, and it's not just video games, man. It is like you could get so deep and so you could get so broad, but then so deep with this topic, because that kind of, you know, manipulation in a sense and psychological aspect of it can come into play for so many things, you know. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to fall down here. Like, a perfect example of this, and I saw like a joke about this the other day. I occasionally will see something about this, and I think everybody kind of knows this for the most part. But, like, it's like when on Amazon, right? It's like when on Amazon or whatever other site, you know, Walmart, you know, Amazon, it's when, you know, they put that something is on sale, right? They say something is X amount off, and that it's, you know, it's 50% off or some shit, and that the previous price was however much higher. And then in reality, it was never that price, you know? Or like, you're not actually getting a deal. Like the quote-unquote deal you're getting is actually just like the standard price. And it's just somehow making it seem like a deal, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's like, it's very similar to that kind of concept. And that sort of concept can be seen across so many different things in life, you know? All sort of different industries and all sort of different types of businesses and media and everything, man. Can I get ultrasight from here? It doesn't look like I can, actually. Does not look like I can. Let me catch up real quick. Are you playing Armored Core 6 or plan to? I'm having FOMO of that right now. No, I'm not playing Armored Core 6, and I will not be getting it. It just doesn't look like my kind of game. I especially don't get the whole it's just cosmetic items thing too. Imagine if New Vegas was like Apex or Overwatch. You only get to run around and shoot things, no looting, no leveling, no perks. You have to buy all those features, right? GTA 6 took a whole bunch of cars that they were going to be putting in the base game, and they're going to turn them into monetized DLC. That's Black Friday. Yeah, literally Black Friday, like perfect example. Okay, so this is what happens, right? So let's say a fucking electronic is normally $150. Black Friday rolls around, and then they slap on a little tag that says Black Friday deal, Black Friday sale, or they put it under the category or Black Friday price, and it's the same price. But because you hadn't looked at it before, or because they say price before was $199, $199.99, and now Black Friday price is $149.99, which they have every right to do, you know, unfortunately. Yeah, they make it seem like you're getting a deal. They make it seem like you're getting a deal, and they're pushing that psychological shit on you. They're pushing that FOMO shit on you of like, hey, this is a great deal. This is the best deal you're gonna see. Get this shit right now. You know? It's wild, bro. I gotta find this. I think the locker is either in here or it's upstairs. Is it right here? Yeah, it's right. Trying to think. I guess we could go do this, or go back and do this. What's up, bad boy? Do you see people often in the open world? I'm in a private server, man, so I don't see anybody. But if you play on public servers, then yeah, there's always multiple people in the server. You can pull up the map at any time, and you'll see multiple players that are playing in the same server as you. And then, of course, if you go in the areas that they are, it's a big map. You know, it's a big map. So if you're randomly up here, for instance, you know, doing your own thing, you're probably not going to run into somebody, right? It'll be very unlikely. But there are events, you know, there's like the different events that pop up, and especially the main ones that are blinking or something, I think. I don't think I have one active right now. But the ones that will give you the most and best rewards, multiple players will always go to those events, and so you will inevitably be around other players at those events. Or you can just go to other people's camps and stuff. A lot of the time they'll be there, especially if they have their vendors selling items. But yeah, so if you're in a public server, you'll be able to pull up the map just like I have here, and you will see many different players that are throughout the map doing whatever it is that they're doing. 100%. Thank you for 10 likes on the stream, by the way, guys. I appreciate it very much. Let's see. Bungie's website has a mental health support section listed under our anxiety, addiction, burnout, kind of like what live service games produce in their pay slaves. The irony, yeah. Hey, 11 likes now. Thank you guys very much. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Thank you everybody for dropping the like on the stream. Really appreciate that. It's the whole discount thing. Yeah, bro, it is. My brother in Christ, this is the first time this item is in the store. Hey, 12 likes now. Thank you guys. Y'all are running it up. I really appreciate it.
You're back.
Also retail when they do their sales trust. I used to work at a Home Depot. Yeah, well, the clip I saw the other day was it was a clip of some kid in Walmart, and he went up to an item. There was a section, like a shelf of items, and I don't think they said clearance. They had like some sort of term for them being on sale, and it had like a sticker, because you know how they put the stickers over the original price tags or whatever the case is, or the little shelf price tags. It was like a sticker over it putting like a specific price and then saying that it was like on sale or some kind of like low price or something like that. And then it was kind of like hanging off. It wasn't fully stuck on there. And so the kid pointed out the price, and then he pulled the sticker off, and lo and behold, under the sticker was the same exact price of the product when it didn't say that it was on sale. You know, so the same kind of thing I said about, you know, like a Black Friday sale. Something was $150. Black Friday comes around, it's still $150, but they say, hey, this is the Black Friday price. You better get this. You know, it's on sale. So it was the same exact kind of concept as that, except it was like in store. It was like a physical thing. You know, they had a little sticker that had the price. They said it was a sale price, but then under that sticker was the normal price, and it was the same exact price. Yeah, that shit happens all the time too.
Missing person. Find them for
It is fucked.
find out what happened.
It is fucked, my friend. It is fucked. Tune into your Pip-Boy Radio 2 transmitter signal. Bet. And I assume I'm gonna have to leave here. Blah, 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 blah. It never had a base price to begin with. An item can't be on discount at its original price. That's a paradox. This time is on sale. Looks at MSRP item. Yeah, exactly. I know one thing after the Fallout 76 mishap. I do not trust Fraud Howard any longer. Anything that comes out of that man's mouth, I just automatically assume is a car salesman lie. A rollback sale. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a rollback sale. That's what it was, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it said it was a rollback sale. Yep. And underneath it was just not saying a rollback sale, but it had the same exact price. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word rollback. That is exactly what I was trying to think of. Yeah. But yeah, no, I get you about Todd Howard. I get the people who have that perspective of Bethesda, that stance on Bethesda and everything. 100%. I get it, man. I do. I definitely do. And I truly, you know, hope that they can turn it around with Starfield, man. It would be a huge blunder if Starfield ended up being any bit similar to the complaints that people have had about previous Bethesda games in recent history. Fucking ticks. Disgusting. Let's see. Manipulate the consumer, take all their money, make them rely on you. Any bold claims by Todd or Pete are consistently unreliable, oblivious radiant AI. Fallout 3's 200 endings, settlements just to work. LOL, 200 endings. Yeah.
What's that over there?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're definitely not wrong. Like there's definitely been some fugazi that has been said in the past. 1000%. And that's why, you know, that's why there's so many people, or at least a chunk of the people, that are so weary about this next release, or that are so initially negative about it, or assuming that it's going to be another L or whatever the case is. You know, like they didn't just they're not just coming out of nowhere, you know, they're not just pulling it out of their ass. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some people out there that are just toxic fucks, and you know, they're hateful people, and they just, you know, this is dramatic, but they just want to see the world burn, you know. They're just people that are just going to be negative just because, right? They're not coming from a logical stance. They're not somebody who, you know, if you ask them why, they would be able to give you XYZ reasoning, like, you know, E.T., for instance, could, or somewhat is now. It's somebody who's just like, you know, fuck them, fuck this, you know, I don't care, you know, somebody who isn't going to provide you logic and reasoning or anything. Somebody who's just hateful, right? But yeah, as for the people, you know, talking like E.T. just was, you know, people who are coming from a place of logic, reasoning, and stuff like that, from history of past games and Bethesda and in general and shit, yeah, those people are coming from those things. Like, those people are not coming just, they're not pulling all that information out of their ass. They're not making shit up. They're not, like, pulling stuff out of their ass. They're not just coming out of the fucking woodwork from nowhere, you know, like, these are things that happened in the past. These are, you know, these are disappointments that happen. These are misleading things that happen. These are, you know, L releases that happened. It's not a whole bunch of hoopla. So yeah, people have every right in the world to be weary or to be assuming a negative turnout for this game, or having a negative stance towards Bethesda. But me being the kind of person that I am, while still being able to acknowledge that, I personally would prefer to see a solid release. I would prefer to see the game come out and be a big hit, and be a big turnaround for Bethesda, and you know, be a release that kind of instills some more confidence and hope in you know, old Bethesda. And that gives us more hope and confidence for future releases, such as the next Elder Scrolls and the next Fallout. And thank you for 13 likes on the stream, guys. Whoever dropped that last like, I appreciate you very much. Hope you're having a great day. As long as I can't break Starfield as easily as some other games, I'll be happy. Yeah, and that's how some people are too, man. Like, some people are not as, you know, not as strict about that kind of stuff as, you know, some people are like, hey, as long as it releases and it's not as bad as 76, I'll be happy. Now, there's a lot of people who wouldn't be happy about, you know, there being people like that out there. There's a lot of people who would say, you know, those kind of people are part of the problem. But, you know, to each their own, you know? Everybody has different standards. Everybody has different preferences. Everybody has different, like, levels of where they kind of draw the line as far as what they feel is acceptable, either personally or just overall. It's always going to be a complete toss-up variety of opinions and stances and preferences and all that shit. Let's see. Consume product, then get excited to consume more product. This dystopian future. That claim that there's like 1,000 planets to explore is red flag material. Textbook Bethesda promise with caveats. Could very well be. Could very well be. Yes. And that's why it is good that we did get some clarity about there being only around 100-ish planets that will actually, you know, matter, it seems like, you know. I don't really know what other way I could put it, but that's the way I'm gonna put it. Because out of those 1,000, they, I don't know, however much later on said that only around 100 of them are going to actually have more substance to them, and aka, again, matter. You know, my words. So that's how I'm choosing to see that, you know. But yeah, that's definitely an example of, you know, they come out and they tell you this thing, like, you know, they come out and they're telling you there's 1,000 planets you can discover. This game is fucking massive. That, you know, you want to go to that planet over there, do it. If you want to explore 500 more planets, you can do that too. You know,
Make sure
it's like one of those big. It's like one of those big. That's one of those big selling point type things, right? That's one of those big selling point type things, like trying to say that there's 1,000 planets or something. But then that's also one of those things that I agree, like with E.T., can very easily be like a classic Bethesda, you know, caveat where it's like, sure, you can technically explore 1,000 planets, you know, but fucking 950 of them you're not going to give a shit about and are going to give you nothing of, you know, substance or whatever. And while I hope it's not something like that, while I hope that there truly is, like they said, around 100-ish planets that really do have some solid substance and, you know, that are unique and have a good amount of, like, content or whatever to them, I can understand the people that don't even buy that, you know, people that are even wary about that. Like, I get it, man. Like, I get it. Trust. I understand where you're coming from. Thank you, by the way, guys. We passed 100 views on the stream overall, so thank you to every single one of you that has come through the stream. You all contributed to that number, of course. Thank you very much. And again, big thank you to everybody who's dropped a like on the stream. Y'all are the goats. I know that we're talking about sort of, not like necessarily a sensitive topic. I think maybe it was a little bit more so before. But, you know, kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I'd put it. Sensitive topic, or, you know, an iffy topic, or like a controversial type thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know we're talking about something like this, and so there's going to be varied opinions about it, and that's okay. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, as long as we're all being respectful about our stances and stuff like that, we're all being respectful to one another. Even if two people have polar opposite opinions and, you know, will die on that hill no matter what, even if they had an argument about it or whatever, as long as everybody can be respectful to one another, I think that's what matters, man. I think that is what it boils down to, for me anyway, you know. I think everybody has the right to their own opinion. If they want to say they fucking hate Bethesda, they hope that Starfield fails or whatever, while I may not personally agree with that mindset of wishing failure on a game or wishing failure on a company, I can understand someone's opinion being that way. I can respect that is their opinion, and I can, despite not agreeing with that opinion and not agreeing with that, you know, stance, or being, I guess, hateful or negative like that, I can still be respectful towards that person, be respectful of that opinion. I think that is what matters. Yeah. That's what matters to me anyway, and that's what I think matters. Let me catch up real quick with comments, though. Have you guys ever seen Todd Howard in a suit? He looks like a car salesman. I mean, they only showed 3 cities in Starfield trailer, which is way more believable to me, and I think that's just fine. 3 big cities is pretty good Bethesda-wise, right? I don't think Starfield's going to be buns. Watch Todd Howard put himself as a character like Kojima did in Metal Gear Solid 5. Its aesthetic isn't my flavor, but I'll probably pick it up at some point and still enjoy it. Those are the words of marketing. It's just trying to sell you, yeah. Even if it was one planet, I still think it would be cool. Like, imagine they promised all states in a Fallout game, but really only 2 have content, just like No Man's Skies, yeah. As long as it isn't bold-faced, like No Man's Sky having no multiplayer launch, despite the studio head and director saying that you could meet other players, but it's unlikely since the game is too big. Agreed. That was a complete fucking blunder of a release. They did turn it around big time, but it doesn't excuse the way that the game released and the claims that they made for the game, which were clearly bullshit. GF just got home from work. Time to spend some QT time with her. You all have fun and be safe. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you very much if you are still here. Have a good time. It's touchy subject matter because people love, like, and care about what they enjoy. People will defend what they like instinctively, which is fine. Look at what happened to Halo Infinite. They had such a solid foundation on that game, and then they just let it slip through their fingers. It's also fine to talk about the problems with modern games and the gaming market. It's called an adult conversation. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, 100%, 100%. It is, it is definitely a touchy subject. I think that's a good way to put it. It's a touchy subject because there is, you know, so many people who have very strict opinions on this subject and on many subjects like this. You know, people that, like I said, will die on the hill believing what they believe about, you know, a company being bad, about the next game or any game they release being bad, being misleading, being a cash grab, or whatever the case is. And yeah, they're very strict to that opinion that they have, and they want to die on the hill of that opinion, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I respect that 100%, as well as I respect people who are on the polar opposite, the complete other side of the spectrum. Like I said, the main thing that matters for me, and like you pointed out, having an adult conversation is just being respectful to one another, you know? Like, nothing constructive, nothing worthwhile comes from two people going at each other's throat and insulting each other simply because you don't agree about, especially just something like a video game, you know? Nothing good comes from it. It's a complete waste of time. It's a complete waste of breath. If you're talking IRL, it's a complete waste of everything. Nothing constructive, nothing positive comes from it whatsoever if you get to the point of insulting each other and stuff like that. But if you can have a constructive conversation about it, and even if you want to try to persuade the other person, I think that's fine. I think that's great. I think that, you know, having conversations like that is awesome. I think it's great. As long as the two people can be mature, they can be respectful, even if that includes getting a bit passionate, even if it gets a little bit heated, as long as it doesn't turn into, you know, throwing insults and stuff like that, which is just completely irrelevant to the conversation at hand. It's just completely unnecessary. As long as it doesn't turn into that, I think it's good. I think it's solid. But like I was talking about earlier on in stream, and I don't know if it got taken out of context or if it got like taken further than I meant it, but that's really like the main thing that and the sole thing that I was sort of hitting at, that I have not been a fan of seeing on Twitter or Reddit and stuff like that. It's one thing for people to post their negative takes on Bethesda and on Starfield, you know, making negative assumptions, replying to people being nothing but negative. That's all one thing, obviously, but when you have somebody who is like throwing insults as somebody who is trying to provide their own positive opinion about it, or that are trying to back up their varying or differing opinion from that person, and then the person who is against it throwing insults and being toxic and being hateful, that's what I don't like to see. That's what I don't agree with the most, and that's what I was speaking up against earlier. And that's really all I was speaking up against earlier. Everything else is fine. I don't really care if somebody wants to take the time out of their day to respond to 100 people, 100 random people on Twitter under some big Starfield tweet, you know, talking about something positive or being hyped for the game, and they see 100 people who responded to that tweet, and they're all people who are like, oh, I'm so excited for this game, oh, this is going to be game of the year, and they want to take the time to respond to all 100 of those people every single day, and just respond nothing but like negativity, like, oh, this game is going to suck, you know, don't get your hopes up, this is going to be terrible, you know, any, you know, stuff like that over and over. To each their own. If that's how they want to spend their time, if that is their stance and their perspective, again, to each their own, you know, do your thing. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's, you know, it's not something I would ever do, but everybody's different. And you have the freedom of speech. You have the right and the power to act that way and to be that way if you want to. Do your thing. But if it turns into you insulting people and being toxic and hateful and stuff like that, crossing that very clear line, that's what I was talking about. And that's all I was talking about. That I don't think is right. And that I don't like seeing. So, yeah. I've got a stim pack I can stare for you, soul.
See these? Me and my.
I'll catch up with comments here in a moment. Un momento. Let's see here. Hello Games, uniquely being an indie dev picked up by Sony and then left to fend for themselves despite going through problems as bad as just months before the game's release. Their studio got flooded. I think No Man's Sky devs deserve the slack and respect. I have a friend who plays Destiny religiously and he pitches at me so bad. Preaches? I guess we'll see. So bad because I won't come back and play Destiny with him, and I tell him no because I'm burned out on Destiny forever, and unfortunately he acts like I'm personally attacking him by not wanting to play Destiny. Yes, exactly. That kind of thing, right? Like, that. Stuff like that. And more so if he, like, I mean, I doubt this happens, but more because this is more of like a random person, you don't know the person, random people online. If that turns into like, you know, them insulting you, or, you know, if you're talking to them and, you know, like, you know, I'm just burnt out on Destiny, man. I'm just, you know, I'm not really feeling it anymore. Like, I'm just not really into it the way I used to be in the way that you are. And they come at you and they don't even like try, they're not even trying to be constructive anymore. They're not even trying to like persuade you or anything like that anymore. They just get to the point where you say something like that to them, being respectful, being mature, and they respond to you and they're just like, oh, well, that's fucking stupid. You know, you're such a this or you're such a that, you know, you're such a, you know, whiny bitch, and, oh, you know, you shouldn't be playing this game anyway, you know, et cetera, stuff like that, you know, like, just clearly the conversation took a clear-ass fucking left field turn or whatever, and they are now just being disrespectful, toxic, hateful, insulting, stuff like that, and crossing that very obvious line. It's no longer a, you know, hey, you should come and, you know, try this game out, you know, oh, but they changed this, and this, and oh, but they said this, and this, you know, trying to persuade you, trying to, you know, have a constructive conversation with you. When it turns from anything remotely close to that to them like doing or saying what I just did as an example of that turn in conversation, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That is what I think is like not okay and like should not happen, and that there's really no excuse for. Let's see. Unfortunately, he acts like, oh yeah, I'm personally attacking him. Yeah, and I'm someone who pre-ordered No Man's Sky, played for 5 hours a day, and told my friends this game was so worth it. Yeah, and on the flip side, like, I was really hyped for No Man's Sky. I got the game, and I played it for a bit, and I refunded it, you know? That was, yeah. And, but, despite that, you know, as time went on, and I talked some shit about that game, 100% I did, and I felt that I had the right to do so, and I would still stand by that today. But I can also see how much that game and that company and everything is turned around, and I pay them nothing but respect for that. Big W to them for it, you know, big ups to them for it, you know. So I can see both sides of the coin. I can provide that level of, you know, maturity and respect to the situation, to my past self, to the topic at hand. I just wish that everybody could do that. You can be passionate and you can even be a little bit aggressive and stuff without being a dickhead. Without being hateful and toxic and disrespectful and stuff, to even somebody who has the remote opposite opinion of you, or the polar opposite opinion of you, sorry. It's not hard. It's really not hard. Couple hours later, I'd done everything you could, and the sickening feeling of being robbed / scammed set in. Yeah. This game sucks, you're an idiot for liking it, get some taste, these types of people are gross, trashing on a game or company is one thing, but bashing people for enjoying something they like is frankly wrong. Most people have very few things they really enjoy or love, why ruin it for them? At least Destiny fans are self-aware and admit their Stockholm Syndrome. Some player bases are in denial, that's kind of weird to be honest. If someone is just trying to coerce you into playing a game you don't want to play, that's just kind of creepy to me. Yeah, I mean, and I don't even like, I think I'm pretty lenient with what I'm saying, because I don't even necessarily draw the line there. Like, if somebody wants to, like, you know, I don't want him taking it too far. Like, I'm not trying to have him breathe down my neck, you know, and not get the hint of, hey, I'm not interested, you know. But if somebody wants to take a crack or two at it, especially if there's been a good amount of time in between, or maybe something new and big comes out for the game or whatever, and they want to try to pitch it to me again, I have nothing against that, man. I have nothing against that. You know, you try to make a case for the game, you try to pitch it to me, You know, even if I tell you that, oh, well, you know, it's just not really my kind of game, you know, you come back at me and you're like, oh, well, you know, you like this game and it's got this, this, and this. Well, this game also has this, this, and this, so you might like it, or you might like it now if you give it another try. And I'm like, well, yeah, but, you know, I'm not really a fan of this, or, you know, I'm just, you know, not really interested in that. And, you know, the person comes back and they say, oh, well, you know, this counter to those things, and they're being constructive, they're being respectful. And if after like a few times it continues, then I'm kind of like, okay, well, this is a bit much. I don't think it usually goes that far though. I think it pretty quickly will get to a point where the person gets the hint that, you know, you're pretty firm on the stance of you're not going to play the game. You know, I think that normally, like in 99% of cases, especially if it's with a friend, you don't have to worry about something like that happening. That it will end before it gets to any sort of like a creepy point, like you sort of said. But yeah, I think I'm pretty lenient with that, because I don't even really mind if they try to like not clap back, but you know what I mean, like if they try to counter me like a few times, or they try to make a case for it a few times, that doesn't even bother me. Like I don't even mind. I think that that's fine. Yeah, as long as they're respectful about it, as long as it's, you know, it's coming from a constructive place and like a respectful place, then I think it's all good, you know. That's exactly it, and that's how it is in politics and social issues, down to the smallest things like media. I don't know what happened to people agreeing to disagree. People like and enjoy different things. That's what makes people people. 100%, absolutely. Yep. It's sad that there's a point in which we went from, you know, people like different things, people enjoy different things, people have different opinions about different things, to, you know, like to that being what it is. Then changing to, you know, if somebody has a different opinion, that, you know, they're, you know, a stupid fuck or something like that, you know, some shit like that. You know, oh, that's what you think? Oh, you're a naive fucking idiot. Like, what? Like, what just happened? We were just having a normal conversation, talking about something, and everything was fine, and then now I'm being insulted. If everyone liked the same stuff, we wouldn't have any great art, not terrible art, and nor terrible art. I get this keypad thing later.
Hey, someone there? I could use a lift.
Hello, Polly.
You are a sight for sore eye.
Fight the sheep condition.
Those things didn't get you. Happen to. He's alone. What do you get me back? That's the.
That's the ticket.
That. One bot built to kill.
Wait, am I supposed to? Oh, I am. Do I have to use No way I have to use it, right? I think it just like, yeah, I can use whatever. I was gonna say, if I had to use that, her, then sheesh, this is gonna be rough. I think we're good. I think that's all of them. Nope. Never mind. I thought wrong. Fuck. now we're good. Maybe. Bladed Mole Miner Gauntlet. Is that a mod? I think? Oh, excuse me. I think it's a mod. Naive isn't necessarily an insult. ADD is, however, which is why I wish people would choose their words more carefully. Agreed. Yeah, I agree that if somebody just said that the person was naive, I wouldn't take that as being like toxic or hateful or anything. I think that that's a fair word to use under certain circumstances or whatever, you know. Like if somebody, you know, somebody who's like just completely overlooking past stuff from Bethesda with like previous games, or people who just kind of brush off the way the 76 is. I know that that's not a BGS studio game, but still, it's Bethesda. It's, you know, to some degree and everything. And it's not like that's the only blunder there's been for, you know, past Bethesda stuff. But people who just basically overlook that, they give it no merit, no volume whatsoever, and then a person calls them naive for that. I think that that is fair. I think that using the word naive in that instance, or, you know, any instance where it makes sense is fine. I don't see it as an insult. I don't see it as being hateful or toxic or anything like that. It's for the more obvious stuff, like, you know, basically using actual insults, you know, calling them, you know, like an idiot or something like that, where there's a very clear turn in the conversation, and it's very obvious that they're no longer trying to have a constructive conversation with you, or, you know, go back and forth with, you know, logic, reasoning, whatever, that they're just now being an asshole. Now that, you know, they've changed to the point of they no longer care about having an actual conversation with you and about actually having any sort of a middle ground, or you know, trying to even persuade you of anything. Now that they're at a point of just, you know, hey, fuck this guy, like, I'm just gonna throw insults at this person. Clearly I'm talking to a fucking, you know, imbecile, you know, stuff like that, you know. It's very obvious. It's very obvious in the situations where those conversations take a turn for the worst, and where that line is crossed. It is very, very clear. It is not subtle in the slightest. And so yeah, those are the situations that I'm talking about. Anything prior to that, though, I think is fine. You know, like I said, you know, there's no reason why people can't have a respectful, mature, constructive conversation, even with getting a bit passionate or whatever, about a topic. There's no reason why it can't happen. It's not hard. Let's see. Intent is something very hard to pick up on through text on the internet. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff that's like very hard to pick up on through text. It's tough. It is. And so it can be tough to interpret certain things sometimes, or to interpret them in the way that a person wants it to be interpreted. But yeah, like I said, even in text online with a random person you've never met or whatever, you don't know their tendencies, or, you know, how they normally are, stuff like that. I think it's still very clear and very easy to know when that line has been crossed, and when you're no longer trying to have a constructive conversation with somebody, you're now just trying to, you know, shut them down, be forceful, hateful, toxic, insulting, things of that nature. Thank you for 15 likes on the stream, guys. I really appreciate that very much. Whoever dropped the last like, thank you. You're a fucking goat. Like a child who believes in Santa is naive, but that makes them pure-hearted and adorable. Exactly, yeah, there's instances where you can be naive and it's not, you know, it's not even like a negative thing. It can be, like you said, it can be a pure-hearted and adorable thing. Even in a case like with video games and, you know, the gaming industry, or specifically stuff with Starfield, Bethesda, or whatever. While you're not going to be naive in the sense of, you know, pure-hearted and adorable, you can still call them naive for their stance on things with it. You know, if they're like, oh, you know, all that stuff that you're pointing out about Bethesda and their past games and all the issues they've had and all the false promises and stuff, all that stuff is just, you know, that's all in the past. That's all, you know, not even that big. Those are all misunderstandings from the community, and, you know, that kind of stuff, right? You can 100%, and I would 100% call those people naive. And that's not an insult. That's not an insult. That's totally fine. But, you know, if I'm gonna call those people naive, I'm not gonna be like, you know, I'm not gonna be like, Jesus, you're so fucking stupid and naive. Like, how can you be such an idiot for believing this? You know, I'm not gonna go like that. I'm not gonna pop off like that. That's the shit that I'm saying is like too far, and that doesn't accomplish anything. You guys want to hear something funny on Twitter? People are bitching that they can't beat the tutorial boss in the Armored Core 6. Hell yeah. I remember the same kind of thing, man. There's been those kind of complaints for other games as well. People complaining that a game's too hard, or people complaining that a game's too easy. That kind of stuff's always going to happen, man. That kind of stuff's always going to happen. You know, people complaining about... I remember seeing the same kind of stuff about Elden Ring. You know, people being like, oh, this is such a big game, and it's, you know, a Game of the Year contender, and it's so popular and stuff. But it's like, you know, why are they making the game so hard? Why is there no difficulty option? You know, why are they trying to force all of us to play on this, you know, base, really difficult version of the game? And people getting really mad about that.
While they shop.
There's always gonna be people like that, man, and that's fine. You know, if that's how they feel, that's the stance they want to take or whatever. If that's how they choose to see it, you know, to each their own, man. That shit's always gonna happen.
Stock up here before your next kill.
Oh, we're dropping that 25 for sure. Hell nah. Let's see here. Just acknowledge your humanity. That's literally the base thing you have to do. Feel empathy and be reasonable. It's not crazy or hard to do. Like, goddamn, some people just don't know any better. Some people will just never understand. Sometimes you just have to let some things go. Just like the dude who couldn't defeat Morgat, or Margit, however you pronounce her name. Because the point of Elden Ring is to learn the problem and overcome the challenge of it. It's the reward and satisfaction of overcoming something difficult. Making it easy would defeat the entire point, and the game still sold amazingly well and got Game of the Year despite all that. Right, now, exactly. So let's say you brought that, you brought those points, those counterpoints to somebody who was you know, complaining about the game being too difficult and there not being a difficulty option. You make those counterpoints to people. Maybe they make some counterpoints back about, you know, why not offer a difficulty option? Why not open up more options for difficulty so that you can potentially bring in a larger player base or whatever? You know, you respond back that, you know, your opinion, or maybe the devs straight up said that they prefer to have the difficulty set as is because that's the way they want to develop the game. That's what they believe the difficulty should be. That's what they think is part of the enjoyment and the reward, etc., of the game, is having it be difficult to X degree. And you know, the feeling that you get when you overcome those things, and like you said, you know, trying to pinpoint the problems and how to overcome them and the challenges and all that sort of stuff. You know, you go back and forth with somebody like that, and those points being, you know, respectful, being constructive, making sense. Fuck you, insult bot. And, you know, then eventually the person just, you know, says screw it, basically, and then they get to a point potentially where they just come back to you and they say, oh, well, all that's fucking stupid, and they're so fucking dumb for thinking like that. Nobody wants that. you know, their game's a piece of shit and, you know, you're an idiot for liking it, or anything like that. You know, just like I said, it's not subtle at all. Like, when people take that turn for the worst and they start being like that, that's the shit I don't like. That's the shit I don't like. Yeah. Thank you for 16 likes on the stream, guys, very much. Whoever dropped that last like on there, I appreciate you dearly. Hope you had a great day. But yeah, you know, I've said it a ton of times, man. I've said it a ton of times, like, that is specifically what I don't like or don't agree with, and that I was talking about, like, the whole time earlier. I don't think Sphinx is here anymore. I don't think he's been here for a while, or at least he hasn't typed anything. But I fear, unfortunately, that he may have took what I was saying earlier in a different way, or thought that I was casting a wider net for what I was saying than I actually was. So I do hope that he doesn't, you know, he doesn't think that that was the case, or that I meant anything more than I was meaning to. But with him, I don't think being in here anymore, I will hopefully see him in a future stream, and I'll be able to clarify to him, if he doesn't already know, that, you know, I was talking about a very specific subset of people that I have seen, and that I was not casting some wide net saying that people cannot be negative towards Bethesda or Starfield, or that people cannot counter the positive points of others, or that people cannot be angry and frustrated, and that you know, people have no basis for those things, because all of that is not the case. All of that is completely true. People can in fact feel all those ways, and they absolutely do have a basis for those feelings and those thoughts. So I feel like he thought that I was I feel like he thought that maybe I was, you know, again, casting a wider net for all of that, or that I was saying that people couldn't be negative or couldn't be angry towards Bethesda or towards Starfield or anything like that, which isn't the case whatsoever. People, you know, freedom of speech, power to everybody, to each their own. I just don't like the people who are, like, toxic to others. I don't like the people who are, you know, going online and throwing insults at other people just because they're posting positivity, you know, being excited about a game or something. And that goes for anything in the world. It's not just anything in regards to Bethesda. It's not just anything in regards to Starfield. It's, you know, it could be about the most random fucking thing. You know, like, oh man, I'm going to a baseball game this weekend. I can't wait. Baseball's fucking stupid. You know, you're an idiot for liking it. You know, it's a dumb, pointless game. You know, what kind of person are you to actually enjoy something like that? Go enjoy something, you know, that actually is worth your care, and etc., you know. People like that. Do those people have the right to act that way? They, you know, technically they do. Freedom of speech. I'm just saying, those specifically are the people that I don't fuck with, and that I don't agree with that, and I don't think that that is correct or necessary. I think a lot of modern gamers in this area have been conditioned, or era maybe you meant, have been conditioned by games that are basically designed to be for casuals, and when a challenging game comes out, they can't handle it. It's definitely some of that goes on, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring are held to such esteem, sorry, because it's what the gaming industry has moved away from, which is solid games that you can play fully and without problems at release. Yeah, they were two really solid releases. He called me a pay-to-win nerd. I don't think he meant anything. I'm sure you're joking about that too. I mean, I know he said something like that, but yeah, I think we both know. At least I think he didn't mean anything like actually negative by it. And I know he said like what the fuck to me and stuff like that, you know. And he was talking about, you know, games or companies being cash grabs or being like this or that and stuff like that. You know, it's okay. It's okay for him to be passionate like that. It's okay for him to have the opinion he has and to be passionate about it, and to, you know, get a bit upset or frustrated or whatever if he happened to be. Totally fine. You know, I respect that. I get that, you know. I see it, and I'm okay with it. Now, if he had came at me and he started throwing insults my way or something, that's where I would have drawn the line. But I know he's not like that. So, you know. It of course didn't go that far. But yeah, you know, like I said, I don't think he's here anymore. I do kind of feel bad because I feel like what I said got taken a bit out of context, or got taken in a broader sense than it did, and that's probably on me, man. That's probably on me for not having made it clear earlier on and stuff like that. So I do kind of feel bad that he may have taken it in a different or worse way than I meant it. And again, nobody's fault but my own. So I do hope that I end up seeing him in one of the next couple streams. Hopefully he's not, you know, frustrated with me or something like that. And hopefully I see him in an upcoming stream and I can sort of just, you know, point out to him that, you know, hey, I get where you were coming from with everything, and, you know, just clarify myself a little bit and make sure that we're all good. Didn't take it personally, didn't appreciate it, but that's just because I'm sensitive. I doubt he meant insulting. No, I don't think he meant insulting either. And yeah, I totally get you, man. I definitely get you. Yeah. He uses rather crass language too, so I'm pretty sure he's just kind of like that, and that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got a little bit of sense of that too, and whether or not that's the case, it's fine either way. You know, I think he's just passionate about it. I think that he has some countering points to what I was talking about, and I wasn't even necessarily speaking from me personally, but rather just some points or things that maybe the general public or some of the general public would say. He obviously has some countering opinions to some of those things that I said. He's obviously very passionate about some of that stuff and the topics that were being brought up, or some of it. And I respect that. I fuck with that, honestly. I do. I can tip somebody who is clearly passionate about something, you know, that they clearly give a lot of thought and care to something. I mean, I think that, you know, that's one of those things that, like, what are we in this world if we don't have those things in our life that we do care about that much, and that we do feel that passionately about, that we are willing to go back and forth with people, again, in a respectful manner, preferably, about those things, and to express those opinions of ours about it. Yeah. Sometimes people can be whiny babies. I wouldn't sweat a demon. I don't think he was being a whiny baby, man. Not at all. No, he definitely wasn't. Like I said, it just seemed like maybe he thought that I was, you know, saying something more or different than I actually was, or that some of the things I was saying that was just example of some of the general public was some things that I personally was saying. Yeah. Or that maybe, like, he may have had frustration with, you know, certain opinions that he had that I didn't also share, or that I didn't see things exactly the way that he did. And that's going to happen, man. That's going to happen with lots of things in this world, because, you know, every person's going to have different information. Every person is going to have different perspective. You know, just because you know all of this information and you have come to X conclusion based on that information does not mean that I also hold that same information, and even that if I do, I have come to the same conclusion that you have. And that's okay.
I can't believe this is just how it is.
Getting frustrated in an argument or discussion is a very human response. Absolutely. 100%. And I think it says a lot when somebody, you know, can, you know, hold themselves appropriately in such a situation. I see nothing wrong with, you know, getting frustrated or getting worked up because of an argument or because of a conversation or something. It shows that you care. It shows that you're passionate. It shows that you have drive. It shows, like, positive qualities for the most part. As long as it doesn't turn into throwing insults and things of that nature, then I think, yeah, it shows positive qualities. It's good. Especially under the principle of not being able to understand one another on a literal or fundamental level can be extremely trying in patience. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, man.
There are some perks.
But yeah, you know, I'm sure that it's all good. Like I said, hopefully I see him in the next stream or two. And he pops in, and I can, you know, I'm sure that we are all good, and I'm sure that, you know, he didn't take anything, you know, super bad from or whatever. Maybe he just had to go, or whatever the case was. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make sure that whenever I see him next, hopefully in the next couple streams, that I make sure we're all good. And
My only living
he didn't take anything I said like differently than I meant it. Thank you for 17 likes on the stream, by the way, guys. Whoever dropped that last one, I appreciate it very much. You're the goats. Hope you've had a great day. I remember there was that one viewer years ago, I got in an argument about some BOS Fallout 4 stuff, and I still cringe thinking about how I handled that, but I was still very much a kid then. Yeah, man, we've all been in those situations. Same for me, man. Listen, we're only human, man. You know, we're only human. And it doesn't even have to be a case of, you know, oh, I was a kid then, oh, I was a teenager then, oh, I was, you know, not as smart then, I was not as, I didn't hold myself, you know, well enough then, or, you know, I was going through a hard time, or whatever the case is. It doesn't even have to be anything like that. Like, you can have a moment of weakness, man. Like, we have moments of weakness in our lives all the time, and that's okay. You know, we are only human. The smallest of things could set us off and cause us to, you know, lose a little bit of full, as a gamer might say, you know, to go full tilt a little bit. But that's all right, you know, that's okay. Like, yeah, like I said, we're only human, man. We all make mistakes. We all have moments of weakness, even in adulthood and stuff, man. Especially in adulthood, I'll say. Yeah, and it's all good. It's what matters is being able to have the self-awareness to recognize that after the fact. And that if you know, wrong somebody or whatever, you know, that you just make it right.
Oh, God. Polly?
Whoa. You're not looking so great, darling.
Duchess, I'm not feeling great.
All we got is a Polly head right here.
Set her down.
Polly's not feeling too good, guys.
Jug should do the trick.
Do we have to put it on the jug? I feel like there was other options before. Maybe it is just the jug.
This is real snug.
That's not gonna do.
Oh, Polly.
Solomon.
Maybe we can switch it later or something.
Did I?
I thought there was other options than
right.
just a jug, but maybe
Solomon.
Maybe not.
Look, I'm sorry to even
This is the
ask.
kinkiest shit ever.
I can make it.
Please say yes.
Oh yeah, we gotta get a new body. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we get to choose the body. I forget, honestly. It's been so long since I did this.
Honey, you are a light. Here.
And here. You'll need this.
Or maybe it's a
and make
specific body
sure-
we have to get.
And
I
at the
don't know.
risk of sound-
I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But oh yeah, a Assaultron body. Okay, I mean that's fair. It is an Assaultron, so. Man said this is the kinkiest shit ever. So this is the Autobots DLC for Fallout 4. Oh, the Automatron DLC. Yeah, I can sort of see the similarity a little bit. That was unfortunately like a pretty short DLC, but it was really cool. All the different modifications and types of shit that you could have for Ada. Like you could have her be like a sentry bot or like an Assaultron or like whatever in between, you know, stuff like that. The variety of all that shit was pretty cool. But the DLC as a whole was like pretty short. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff from it. But yeah, having like a full-on robot as a companion and that you can modify to the extent that you could was pretty dope. I think it was a cheaper DLC too. I don't think it was like a $20 DLC, for instance. I think it was probably like $10, maybe 15. Eesh. Looking back on it now, if it was 15, I don't think it would be worth 15, but I think it'd be worth $10.
While I was asleep.
What's up, Kyle? I wish they had a companion. No, I said that. I wish they had a companion like that in 76. Like you can make your own sentry bot with a robo brain, the flame saber in one hand, and the minigun in the other. Oh yeah, you could do that too. I forgot that you could do that as well. You could have like literally, you could have like a missile launcher on like one side, and you could have like a minigun or something on the other. I totally forgot you could do that as well, or that kind of thing. Yeah, that'd be dope. A big ass sentry bot, but still have the soft voice. Yeah. I always make 3 sentry bots for Sanctuary that are named after Rome emperors. Nero, Caligula, probably butchered that, and Augustus. I fuck with it. I do. I do. You got it right. Let's fucking go. Mostly. Oh, come on, dude. What the? What the fuck does that mean? This man says you got it right. And mostly. He's gotten me slack. He just, you know. He's letting me slide by. It sounds like basically. I used to say it like that in first grade too. It's okay. Oh, fuck. Listen, to be fair, we can consider this first grade because, like, I'm not familiar with it before now, right? See, I'm first learning about it now, just like you were first learning about it in first grade. Okay, so you're like my first grade teacher right now, basically. So this, I think it's fair, right? You know, you said it in first grade when you first learned about it, and now that's like the equivalent of me right now. Thumbs up. I got a thumbs up right now. Let's W. Nero's not first grade. Listen, this is first grade right now. That's rated X stuff. Do not tell your kids about Nero. You'll be the teacher. Whatever you say, teach. Give me that stim pack. That's not advisable. Spiky baseball bat. I heard a guy. I mean, there probably is more guys here, but oh, here's a guy just right outside the window staring me down. That was actually so weird, kind of creepy too. I just look to the side and I see this guy staring at me through the window. That was actually mega creepy. Just not the sight I expected to see. Healing salve. Healing salve. Baseball granada. Oh, what up? Fuck. Yes, sir. Give me the buff out. So we can get all buffed up. Why is the Pepe yellow? Is that on purpose? The gun? The skin, you mean? Yeah, it's a new skin. What's the skin I had on before? What skin did I have on before? Did I have the ghillie skin? Red. I had red skin. No, I had ghillie skin on my sniper, my hunting rifle. I had a red skin. Why do I not even remember? I feel like I can't visualize it. But yeah, this is a new gun that I got yesterday. It's obviously still a handmade, but it's a new one. It's a 3-star legendary one. So I ended up just putting a different camo on it, or a different skin on it rather. Figured I'd switch it up a little bit, and that's also why it doesn't have the Pepe name. I think it was Raiders. Yeah. That sounds a little bit more familiar. Yeah, like sort of like a Raider look to it.
I heard some screaming outside the window. Do the ghosts rule the outside world as well now? Oh, what do we have? How may I? Assault as such. Oh.
Oh,
I do hope that the machine is serving you well.
Wait.
We pride ourselves on our dedication to quality.
What is Oh. There we go.
Excuse me. Entrance into the showroom is for customers only.
Yeah, I'm a customer. What the fuck you mean? You gonna do something about it? Do I? Oh, I don't even... Wait. Oh, I gotta go upstairs. That's fair. Okay.
If I encounter any damage in those showrooms, you should expect a bill.
You should expect a bill. What's he gonna bill you with? I'm saying. What was he gonna send? He's gonna send it to Vault 76 as well? What? Oh my god! What the fuck? Huh. Okay. You just got ran in, bro. I just got fucking train ran on me, bro. Oh my god. I literally just had a train ran on me by the fucking turret. Wrecked. Literally. Todd ordained that here to shit talk in Starfield. Oh man. Shit. That's the only thing that makes sense, bro. God, we just got fucked. That might be the fastest that I've died so far in this game to date, bro. Like since returning to the game. I thought I died fast when Mr. Handy killed me with the flamethrower. No, dude. That literally insta-killed me. Like, as soon as I heard the revving of the turret, I was dead instantly. That was miserable, bro. Holy shit, that was actually nuts. Hey, yo! Jesus, bro. Alright, it's not shooting at me right now, but Dude, my heart sank for like, once I got like 2 seconds and it wasn't dead, my heart sank for a second, no bullshit, because I know how fast I could have just died again right there. That shit's scary, bro. Still, those handy flamethrowers and cave crickets, they have taken down many a vault dweller. Yeah, the Mr. Handy flamethrowers and shit are insane. It's like those stupid insects in New Vegas Cazadors, like you first play the game and you're like, oh, it's just a bug. Yeah, about that. Oh yeah, E.T. has seen my run-ins with Cazadors among other things in New Vegas before. Hasn't gone good. They definitely have the they have the upper hand on me there. They have the score on me there. Literally just fucking just going up to them and just trying to noob tube them, bro, and I just blow myself up. So not only have the Cazadors killed me, their literal presence has made me kill myself before. If New Vegas had army distance, you may have lived, but it backfired, bro. It was bad, dude. I probably thought I was so smart, or I probably thought that I probably just felt so confident about the plan as well, thinking, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to use this explosive, I'm going to fuck these guys up. I was probably going in there like, I hate these fucking things, I'm going to blow them to smithereens, bro. And then I go in there, and the only thing I blow up is myself. And then, of course, there's other instances when they still kill me anyway, just being the normal annoyances that they are. It's the poison and speed. Yes, bro. The fact that they're poisonous and the fact that they're so fast, bro, they're so annoying. They're actually so annoying. Oh, I used to die all the time when we had hacked weapons that explosive scatter 50 cal. I always blew myself up with that thing. All it would take is one little speck of something. Yeah, I think we all went through that, man. Like in the early days having explosive weapons, I would be hard pressed, or I'd say you would be hard pressed to find somebody who ran an explosive weapon in early 76 days, especially, and an automatic explosive weapon, especially. You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody under those circumstances and that never killed themselves with it.
Never could get Duchess to spill.
Everybody's done it, dude. Everybody's done it. I would find it very hard to believe that anybody used an automatic explosive weapon, especially in the early days of the game, for like any bit of a long period of time and didn't blow themselves up once. What's up, Greg? Did I just read 16 times the detail? That may or may not be my character's name, dude. There you go. 16 times the detail. Yeah, that might be my character's name, man.
16 times the detail. 16 times the detail.
Oh, man. Yo, what's up, though, Greg?
Hey,
I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Signals
Hope you're having a great day.
You know, I don't throw the word hero around a lot.
Oh, Jesus.
Come over here and let's discuss, huh?
How about gooing yourself with an explosive plasma gatling? Absolutely, yeah. And while, yeah, not meaning to. In Fallout 4, I had an explosive minigun I found in the glowing sea, and I would kill myself, or my Xbox One would crash every time I try to use it. Oh, man. Dude, the amount of crashes I had on Fallout 4, holy moly, bro. And then I'd still get back on and play the shit out of it. Yo, the glowing sea was really cool. The glowing sea was actually one of my favorite places. And the glowing sea was probably like the main place that I would like pull gameplay from for like videos, if I remember correctly. Like so many videos I would like I would have a video that I would need to do or that I would want to do, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I gotta have some random gameplay that I gotta throw in for, you know, X parts where I'm just talking or whatever the case is. And so I'd just be like, alright, time to go to the glowing sea. Time to go to the glowing sea to kill some shit and get some background gameplay. You have to retrain myself from console killing. the doctor and Big MT who invented Cazadors. Imagine if the antagonizer controlled Cazadors, bro. Oh, the explosive Gatling plasma was another. I love that thing. Yeah, it was dope. Imagine surviving being shot in the head and then Victor bring back the bits of your body to Doc Mitchell. Yeah. That moment you killed yourself in Fallout 3 when you found the Fat Man for the first time. Hey, you gotta learn somehow. You gotta learn somehow.
No. No.
It's true, but Crane, you ready to? All right. Follow me.
If somebody sent Fraud Howard back in time to the 1880s,
So,
he'd probably do well as a snake oil salesman. Jesus.
I know.
Jesus. Oh, man. He'd
There's a
probably do
problem.
good as a snake oil salesman. Oh, Lord. Alright, let me go back to... Oh, fuck. Snake oil. This elixir just works. This elixir... it just works. It'll let you see 16 times the detail. You'll be able to see 16 times the color. 16 times the life expectancy. Todd needs to be an NPC in Red Dead 2 that you can rob and turn into a camp slave. 16 times the benefits. Oh god, bro. Poor Todd. Poor Todd. Alright, let me go sell some stuff real quick. Did I ever put Lone Wanderer back on? I still have not put Lone Wanderer back on. This whole time I don't think I've had Lone Wanderer on, like, at all. What a
Now
blunder.
in stock. Goods acquired through questionable.
What's a blunder? Oh, nice. We got another mod. Whoa. Oh, shit. When did I get this? Oh, hell yeah. Ultralight build. Leather armor... something? Leather armor chest. I was gonna say, I assume this is chest. Alright, I'm gonna go back to camp. Break stuff down, put stuff away.
I can't believe everything went to hell while I was asleep.
Instead, the elixir just makes you shake your guts out. What the fuck? We put 26 of these away. Even us up here. There we go. 89. Is that right? Oh, we do have the PA arm on us. That's not really anything about. Oh, that is something. Holy shit! Now we're down to 77. That was like 12 then. Damn. Okay, fair enough. Now I guess we're good. One broken piece, two others about to break. Ugh. Sheesh. Instead, the elixir makes you suffer 16 times, 16 different ways. 16 times the suffering. Oh, Jesus. Hey, thank you for 18 likes on the stream. Whoever dropped the last night, I appreciate you very much. Dropping all the emoji spam, all the emoji reactions. Here, I'll spam some with you. Yeah.
There you are.
Here you go. Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Yep.
Always puts a smile on my face.
All right, guys. spend about 2.5 hours on the stream. I do believe I'm going to call it. A big thank you to the 18 likes on the stream. If you're somebody who hasn't dropped a like already and you want to show your support, feel free to drop a like real quick before I head out. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you here hanging out. I feel like we had a bit more chat activity here and from, you know, more people than the usual. So I really appreciate that very much. Adds so much to the stream, and just makes me have such a better time on stream, and I feel like that really carries over to like the viewer perspective as well, or hopefully anyway. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you everybody for dropping a like on the stream. Thank you for all the chat activity, and I will be live again tomorrow, being Wednesday, for I guess my last day playing Fallout 76, because Starfield comes out Thursday, and then we about to run that bitch up. So tomorrow we'll be finishing the main quest line, launching a nuke and all that good stuff, and then Thursday begins our Starfield journey. Yeah, thank you everybody once again for stopping by and hanging out. I appreciate the fuck out of you all. I love you all so much. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Peace.